Hello and welcome to this 15-minute power yoga flow. Today we're going to start at the back of the mat and we are going to arrive in a child's pose. And as you arrive in child's pose, begin to focus on your breath, extending each inhale and exhale. And whether you're practicing this in the morning or in the middle of the day or at night, just begin to anchor into the present moment, leaving behind anything that has happened or that you may be anticipating. Give yourself permission to fully release and let go. And now begin to bring your head up and bring yourself back into a seat sitting on our heels. And from here, we're going to do side body stretches. So place your right hand to your right side and reach your left arm up and over. And now round your back and swing over to the left, placing your left hand on the left side and your right arm up and over. And we're going to repeat that on each side. So round your back and swing over to the right and stretch. And then move over to the left. And now come back to a neutral position. And from here, we're going to come forward onto all fours. From here, we're going to come into a little bird dog sequence. So lift your right leg off the mat and behind you and bring your left arm up. And from here, you're going to bend your left arm and your right leg and crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. You're going to do this one more time. From this last extension, we're going to come into tiger pose. So bring your left arm behind you and try to grab onto your right foot. Push your right foot into your left hand as you kick up. From here, you can let go of that bind, reaching your left arm forward and right leg back, and hold for a second. And come back into tabletop position. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So left leg reaches back behind you and right arm reaches forward. And we're going to come into bird dog. So bend your left knee and right elbow and crunch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend. Make sure to push your left hand into the mat if you're having trouble balancing during these poses. And again, on our last extension, we're going to come into tiger pose. So reach your right arm behind you, grabbing onto your left foot. Kick your left foot into your hand, lifting that leg up. You can also tuck the right toes under for better stability like I am. Now begin to let go of your foot, reaching your right arm forward and left leg back. And come back to tabletop position. And from here, begin to tuck your toes and push yourself into bear pose with your knees hovering above the mat and your core engaged. Now bring your knees to the mat, untuck the toes, come into cow pose on an inhale. Exhale, tuck your toes, come into bear, rounding your spine. Inhale, drop the knees and come into cow pose. We're going to do this 2 more times. And on your last bear pose, we're going to hold. And from here, push yourself into downward facing dog, and you can begin to pedal out in your feet. Now we're going to come into three-legged dog, so begin to lift your left leg in the air and bend into your left knee, stacking the hips. Now you're going to bring that knee into your chest and step to the top of the mat, coming into a low lunge. And now begin to place your hands on the mat as you shift back into half splits. Make sure that your hips are squared here, so pull your left hip back and push your right hip forward. And now shift forward into your low lunge. And then shift back into half splits. And we're going to flow like this one more time. So come forward into your low lunge and shift back into half splits. And as you come into low lunge once more, tuck your right toes under and lift your knee off the mat, coming into high lunge. And now twist open to your left, reaching your right arm forward and left arm back. And from here, place your left hand on the back of your right leg and reach your right arm over. And now we're going to come into twisted lunge, so place your right hand on the inside of your left foot and open your left arm. Now push into your right hand as you begin to lift your left leg, coming into this side plank variation. And from here we're going to come into wild things, so place your left foot behind your right leg and push up. If this isn't a part of your practice, then you can just stay in side plank. And now begin to lower your hips and come back into downward facing dog. And then reach your right leg in the air, coming into three-legged dog. Bend into the knee and stack the hips. And now bring your right knee into your chest and step it up to the top of the mat, coming into low lunge on this side. And now you're going to begin to straighten the right leg, coming into half splits, squaring the hips. And then shift forward back into your low lunge. We're going to flow like that again, coming back into half splits and forward into your low lunge. Shift back into half splits, stretching out your right hamstring. And now come forward into your low lunge, tuck the left toes under, lift your left knee off the mat, coming into a high lunge. Now open your arms and twist open to the right. Now place your right hand on the back of your left leg, bringing your left arm up and over. And from here, place your left hand on the inside of your right foot, coming into a twisted lunge. Now begin to lift your right foot off the mat, coming into this side plank variation with your right foot on the inside of your left leg. And from here, come into wild thing on this side, placing your right leg behind you and stretching up. Now you can lower your hips and we're going to come into a plank this time. From here, we're going to flow through chaturanga, coming into upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Now come onto your tippy toes and bend your knees, step or jump to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, exhale, fold, inhale, rise, exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach your arms up over your head again, exhale, fold, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, come back into plank, shift forward, chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to come into three-legged dog, so lift your right leg in the air, squaring the hips this time. Bring that knee into your chest and step to the top of the mat. Pivot on your left foot and windmill the arms, coming into warrior two. Now flip the palm and come back into reverse warrior. Now begin to straighten your right leg and come into triangle pose with your right hand resting on your right shin or on the mat. Now you can either stay here in triangle pose or you can bend your right leg and come into half moon, lifting your left leg in the air, stacking the hips. And to come out of this pose, you're going to bring your left hand to the mat, bringing your left foot to meet your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Shift forward into chaturanga or stay in plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And we're going to repeat the sequence on the other side. So lift your left leg in the air, coming into three-legged dog. Bend your left knee into your chest and step to the top of the mat. Pivot on your right foot and windmill the arms, coming into warrior two. Now flip the left palm, coming back into reverse warrior. And we're going to come into triangle pose, bumping the hips to the right. Left hand meets the left shin or the mat. And we're going to come into half moon again, so bend your left knee, placing your left hand on the mat, and lift your right leg in the air and stack your hips, opening up to the right side. Now we're going to come out of this pose, so bring the right hand to the mat as you square the hips and meet your right foot with your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reaching your hands above your head. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come into plank, and we're going to shift into downward dog this time. And now come onto your tippy toes and bend the knees as you look forward. Step or jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. From here, begin to bring your right knee into your chest as you root down through the left foot. And now from here, you're going to shift forward as you extend your right leg behind you and step into a high lunge with the hands at the heart. Now twist to the left, coming into a revolved crescent lunge, hooking your right elbow onto the outside of your left knee. And from here, bring both of your hands to the mat and bring your right knee to the outside of your left foot, coming into a seated twist, hooking the right arm around the left knee. And from here, you're going to place both of your hands at the top of your mat, coming into standing splits with the right leg extended. And now meet your right foot with your left foot, coming into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. And now you're going to bring your left knee into your chest, and we're going to repeat that sequence on this side. So begin to shift forward, extending your left leg behind you. And from here, step into a high lunge, keeping the hands at the heart. Twist open to the right and hook your left elbow on the outside of your right knee, coming into revolved crescent lunge. And now we're going to come into a seated twist again, so place both hands onto the mat, bring your left knee to the outside of your right foot, and twist. And now gently come out of this pose in whatever way feels the most comfortable for you. From here, we're going to come into a boat pose. We're going to begin here in a seat, reaching the arms forward, and you're going to lean back until you feel that your core is activated. You can stay there, or you can bring your legs up, keeping your knees bent. Now you can begin to extend your legs, coming into a full boat pose. You can stay here or choose any of the other previous variations. Choose whichever option feels the best for your body. And now you can begin to come out of this pose, crossing the legs in front of you. And from here, we're going to come into Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet together and grab onto the outside of your feet. You can stay up here, or you can fold forward for a deeper stretch in the hips. begin to slowly come up out of this pose. And we're going to come into a seat. You can either come into a cross-legged seat or just have one foot in front of the other. And as you arrive here, return to your breath, to the sound of your breath, to each inhale and exhale. And now, all together, on an inhale, raise your arms up over your head, and exhale, bring your hands to your heart. That's the end of this practice, but you can always stay here longer. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed this power yoga flow, and I'll see you in a video soon. Bye.